Donna Meyer, if you'll please come on up. Hi, Donna. Please state your name for the record and that you just live in Monroeville. You don't have to give your address.
Donna Meyer, and I live in Monroeville.
Please.
I have a question about point of order for this council. Last November, I've been on the Planning Commission for one term, and it was up in November. So I put my applications in to Mr. Little, and I notified Mr. Caleri that I was interested again in another term. After, in December, there was no response. In January, I questioned this, and I was told, don't worry, said to me right here, you're in. And I got nominated. In February, there was no approval or disapproval put through, a vote put to this council. So I would really like to know, Mr. Dice, maybe you can answer, whether they have to submit the nomination for an approval or not, a vote up or down.
It's a good question, and we've had this come up before in the past. I want you to know, appointments have laid open or remained open for as long as 6 or 8 months, so that there's no requirement to fill a planning commission position or a zoning hearing board position or a municipal authority position, both in the planning commission and at the zoning hearing or at the municipal authority. Those individuals under the planning code and under the Municipal Authorities Act that are seated continue to seat until a new appointee is appointed. So you would continue to sit on the planning commission until such time as you are reappointed or someone else is appointed. The same holds true for the municipal authority. Not so for the zoning hearing board. The zoning hearing board's term actually ends. So there would be a shortage on the zoning hearing board by one person. But that happens in lots of communities where you don't necessarily get a council ready or willing or desire to fill the vacancy. There's no requirement. You could run the whole term. You could run the next 4 years and not have anybody appointed in your position, and you would continue to serve, as is true with the planning or with the municipal authority, not with the zoning hearing board.
Well, the question I had, the reason I'm asking you is that today I received an email from Mr. Caleri because I had put a request in to know what was going to happen. And he had indicated, he said he decided to nominate someone else. So now my nomination sits there, but he's nominating someone else. And my nomination was in January. So I'm curious, the nomination was made. Is it going to be voted on or not?
Okay, and that's purely up to the whim of council. They do not have to vote on it. Mr. Caleri could nominate, has there been a motion and a second and a vote to nominate someone else?
No, I just found
Okay.
out today. I
All
don't
right.
think so.
Let's assume Tuesday night, Mr. Caleri makes a motion to nominate so-and-so, and it's seconded, and it's voted upon, and now there's 2 names up. And a month goes by. And Mr. Caleri decides, you know what? I think I'm going to put a 3rd name up. He could next month decide to put somebody else's name up. You could have, if you ever look, sometimes there's 2 or 3 or 4 people up for a position.
So
You don't get any seniority because you were nominated first.
I understand that. The reason I'm asking that is that you ask citizens to volunteer, so we do. So now we're kind of like left in limbo. And for my first term, I started out as secretary. I volunteered to do it, and I've been taking the minutes for our draft ordinance meetings that we have, working on that. So I have quite a collection that I've turned over to Mr. Tufo because we review those every month. And we've had more than 1 meeting a month. We've had sometimes 3 meetings. This past year in 2014, we were at a hiatus and did not meet at all for it, but now we're ready to finish this. And here I sit, ready to go, and I'm waiting for some sort of an idea what's happening. I wasn't told why, you're going to nominate someone else. And I'm just curious because I have a very in-depth knowledge about this draft ordinance. So that was my question as to whether it would give me some finality, because the more I work on this, and now we're reviewing the draft, I'm going over all of I wanted to know what was happening.
Okay, and I
I
think you made
deserve
your
an
point.
answer.
Just recognize that this entity here is not required to respond to that kind of rhetorical question, why? If any member of council chooses to make a response, they can do so at the close of public comment. But I would suggest to you that that's part of politics. That's part of the American way. I mean, people get nominated, some people get disappointed, some people get appointed. You know, I can't.
I think as a citizen, we don't really look at it as politics because our decisions aren't political. You know, when we're in the planning commission, we're looking at other things.
You might not think they're political, but every decision that's made up there has some politics to it.
Certainly, my reason for being on there wasn't political.
Okay, and I appreciate that.
And the person who nominated me gave me a choice of various communities. She said, maybe you'd like to be interested, because she put me in touch as being on, initially I was interested in getting something done for the community because I am president of the homeowners. And she put me in touch, once she got won her the council seat, she put me in touch with Mr. Hughes, and we worked on it. So when there was an opening, she said, was I be interested? And I said yes. But it wasn't this particular, so it wasn't a political appointment, so to speak, like maybe it's being made out to be. It was strictly a choice.
I'm not making it out that way. I'm suggesting it, if you look back over the decades of various things that have gone on in municipalities, these appointments oftentimes bring with them some politics. You may have no political you might not have any political aspirations. You know, you don't want to be a councilman, you don't want to do any of this. You like the idea of working on the planning commission. I think you've made that point. I think that's all well taken. I just would suggest to you that this council doesn't owe an explanation. There's no legal requirement for an explanation as to why another person gets nominated. Whether that person's more qualified, I don't know.
Well, I'll just end it by saying that if you want citizens to be on these commissions, then I think you need to do a better job of making sure that you're treating them appropriately and at least giving them a vote or a reason why you don't want them on the commission anymore. And I think that would be a much fairer way. Thank you.
Thank you. Bobby Gibson. Bob, state your name for the record, and obviously you just live in Monroeville. Do not give your address.
Bob Gibson, Monroeville. I'm here tonight to speak for the veterans. We submitted a application for a grant for our parade. I know nobody's probably spoke to you people before, but I'd like to bring up a few points. Number one, this parade is very important to us. As you can see, we brought a following tonight. The monies that you authorize us go to pay other members, other groups in the parade. And we've scrutinized their charities that they pay. So it's not anybody pocketing any of this money anywhere. We in turn take the rest of the money. We also reimburse ourselves for the food we put out for the community day, which we invite everybody to. And we have an open house the entire day from 10 o'clock on. We have a wonderful staff that participates, that helps us. Our women's auxiliaries, better than none, that they take care of everybody that comes down here. After that, we take care of our vets that come home. Any new vet or any veteran that comes back to our post, for the first year, their membership's free. We include that at Memorial Day. We try to make that to build it up and to show them we want to welcome them back to our fold. We memorialize this day. It's very important to us because we honor the guys that think they're here. That's so you and me can stand here free. That's a big day to us. It's a very critical day. So we come to you with open arms and ask you for this money. Anything that's left over, naturally, we get back to the community and different organizations. I didn't bring a list with me, but we have several donations we get back to different organizations within the community. But our primary mission is the veteran. We take what we have in our co-fairs, and these people everybody has spent time at the VA hospitals with them. We brought back a lot of guys this time in pieces. We got to rebuild them, and we got to help them. That's our mission, and that's why we want this parade to be successful and stay here. This year, last year, as you noticed, it expanded. We now have a lot more military units involved, a lot more vehicles coming down the road. We want to show the community, this municipality and surrounding communities, of what we used the equipment on and who these people were. So this is why I ask you people to bring us the money that we need so that we can put forth this.
Put it on the record, Bob, how much you're asking for.
Well, we submitted for 6,000. So, every year, I don't think you've ever had anybody come up here and speak to you, but I am.
What do we currently give you now, Bob?
I think it was 3,500 last year, and we had to go out asking other people.
We
And they upped the 4th of July.
We have,
32.
we have,